All right. We are back at the Dark Hub. This is Titan Dragon, playing Satisfactory. So I figured the first thing we would do is throw down a blender. Gotta make sure we line it up. Right about there looks good. I think there looks good as well. Alright. So we're going to be producing the biochemical sculptor, whatever that thing's called. So we need our two solid inputs, as I like to call them. Yep. Alright. I gotta remember which one was which. That's Mark II. So this first one will be Trigons. I don't even remember what the other assembly directorates. Okay. There it is. Alright, the only other thing we need to do is run water. So what I like to do with the water is I like to come up from above and go down into my machine, which you probably already have seen. So we're going to bring that pipe up. bring it that way. Okay. Nope. Sorry about that. My throat's a little dry today. Let's actually get that pipe lined up first. We're not going to see this underside, so I don't mind the clipping. Okay, this needs 50 water per minute. Go against my normal scheme, color schema, since this is the dark hub. Alright. I'm not sure if I need a pump right there. So we're just going to wait for a little bit. One of the things that we need to go do is find the assembly directorates. Nope. Nope. Yes. Actually, I could have kept it facing... We'll just turn it... And we'll turn them all this way. Okay, we need a merger. So what we're going to do, eventually, is all of these will join with this line here to kick out this stuff back onto this production area. I need to make sure this works. All right. See, this one was Trigons. This one should be those. There went in. All right. There it is. Alright. Guess I'm just going to allow that pipe to clip through there. I don't like pipe floor holes. I've had issues with them even since 1.0 came out. Alright, so all we need to do to get this machine up and running is have our fix-it Trigons made. So I've come up with this factory here. This will produce Trigons, time crystals, neural processors, singularity cells, and superposition oscillators. which is everything that we are not producing at this time. I say at this time, yeah. There's more that we're not producing, but for the end game, I haven't unlocked everything, so today we are going to focus on the Trigons and the diamonds. So, I've looked over the map, and I've decided to use this base right here. We have 4 normal coal nodes, bleh. Which will allow us to get the amount of coal that we need. I was considering building it down here, but I can't get the SAM ore that I need and use iron. Because I need 800 SAM ore. Unfortunately, currently with the belt speed that we have, I can only get 780, so we're going to be a little bit short, but once we get our Trigons starting to be manufactured and shipped over here, we will be able to put in for our peak efficiency. So we need the 250 diamonds, 250 Trigons, and I already have the plates and the alclad aluminum sheets. Those are actually out here. So this is the alclad. This is the these two are the iron plates. So I'm gonna pause the recording and jump over to where we're gonna be building this factory. I'll see you in a second. Alright, we're back. Look at this view. You can see my rocket fuel factory out there. I still need to decorate it. Make it look nice. Here's the bamboo forest, or red forest, or I don't know what this particular section's called. So here is the pure SAM node. I've already set it up to be at 800 clocks to get us 800 per minute. So now we just need to get it down and over to that lake, because our iron is right about there and our coal is somewhere up in this area. If we go like this, so yep, the coal is right there. And the iron is there. We have limestone, which is the other resource that we need. Anything else we need for this factory, we are going to bring in via trains. So the first trick will be getting the SAM ore down below. We'll just go with regular concrete for this factory. And unfortunately, my best belt speed is only 780. So the easy way would be to work back. Oh, they changed it? You used to could bring lifts all the way down. Or maybe it's going up. You can bring them all the way up. But first I gotta figure out... Gotta get back up there. All right. That is a weird graphical glitch. Oh well. However, I decide to do power. This will make it easier for me to run power up to this miner. Where did I put the power? Up there it is. Okay. No, I want you right there. Okay. Alright. So now that I've got that running down, it's just a matter of ugly belting it over to my factory. Which will be over here. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording and start setting it up. I'll see you once I have the train stations set up and the refineries for the iron ore. Alright, I've got the train stations set up. Yeah, it's still doing a graphical glitch. If I save the game and come back, that glitch will go away. And I have the refineries set up as well. I've actually already ran them to let them build up in manifold, and then I cut the power to them. Alright, for these, I haven't hooked up their outputs yet. We need to have 5 converters. So we've got to think about how we want to set up these converters. This is what they look like. So there's our inputs. There's our outputs on the other side. Let's just run them. 3, 4, 5. Okay, we want to fix it. Iron. We are running these at 100%. These go into 5 constructors. Man, those constructors are dwarfed by them. Need 10 per minute to make 30. These output 10. All right. Next we need our constructors for Sam. We need 7 of those. We're going to actually take this. We need to do 200 divided by 7. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What if... Okay, and we are outputting 200, so that's a Mark III belt. All right. The question is, which one do I take up, or do I actually run them underneath? So I could... No, I think I want to do... Let me double check. 240 per minute? Oh, jeez. Oh, that's the iron ingots. Okay. let's do the iron up. And the SAM down below. $240. 63.75 times 4. $255. Yeah. Probably a better way to do this is grab this, let's back it up, I said H. So I have to have room for 4 particle accelerators across there. Okay. The only issue that I have let's change my quantity here to 240 divided by 4, so that gives us 60 per minute. Is I still need to have 75 extra on one of the lines. So maybe I'll overclock that last one and pull 75 off of it. But have these ones create the correct amount. Okay. Alright, you guys don't need to watch me hook up the machines here, so I'm going to go ahead and bring you back when I'm done hooking them up. Alright, we're back. So I've gone ahead, set up my power, set up the converters. I didn't have enough room to line this one up exactly with these constructors there, and just didn't give myself enough room on that side of that row. The only thing I haven't done is run the power for these lines of refineries, but we can quickly do that. Okay. There is one grouping of power I haven't connected, and that is these down here. So let's snag this guy, bring him to there. This platform is only there for the power augmenter, so we're going to go ahead and just run that to there. So that would give us all the power that we need to start this facility, where everything's connected with the exception of the 4 particle accelerators. So I think we'll go 1, 2, I'm not going to have enough room for 4 there. Just double checking my spacing in between them. Three. Four. So I'm just going to set up some temporary containers. All right. So yeah, it's 30, 60. This needs to go up to Mark II. All right. Needs to be Mark 5. All right. the coal on two different lines, so we'll figure that out, how far we need to bring down these lifts once we get the coal ran down here. Now we got that one there, that one there. Okay. How much coal do we need? 2,140 divided by 4. Technically, if I have 4 miners, and I have 4 I could run them all on separate belts. Still have to be Mark 5. Oh, I don't have the particle accelerators set to the correct clock speed. You know, we'll just leave it at 300, or at 30 per minute. Give myself a little extra diamonds. And then go clock all 4 of those at 600. Yeah, we'll figure it out in a minute. Alright.
All right.
there's one other thing I have to do before this plant is ready to turn on. Here I was thinking, well, besides running main power to it, we gotta go get the SAM ore. Completely forgot that that needed to come this way. But I'm just going to turn this off. For now, I'm just going to call it QF. I'll go get the true name for it in a minute. Okay. Lucky save. Alright. It is too long. Alright. There's a way to fix that. Alright. One thing I decided to do, rather than underclocking and making a couple more refineries, is I decided I'd prioritize the converters with a smart splitter. So we have output going to the right for this particular one and overflow going out the center, but this one here out overflow to the left, any down the center. So we prioritize this, then any extra will flow down here. At some point I need to add in 3 more constructors to make iron plate. I'm not doing that in this episode. I want to have this turn on, so what I'm going to do is go get power. Since I don't have any the nearest power is my fuel power plant, so we'll go get some from there. You don't need to watch me do that. Once I have the power back here, I'll bring us back and we'll turn on the factory together. Alright, we're back. As I was running the power out there, I realized I'm not storing diamonds, I'm turning them into time crystals. So I need to set up some converters. Then I need to recalculate my math. But let's set up the converters anyways. Alright, they take 12 diamonds per minute to make 6 time crystals. Yep, 30. 30 times 4 is 120. 120 divided by 12 is 10. Now, technically, 37 of those are going to go to make dark matter crystals and a particle accelerator. But for now, I just want to double check. Yep. Okay. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8. Technically, I don't need to have them that close, but... And then I'm just bringing up the Trigons. I will at some point be running them, splitting them off go. While I hook up power to these converters and get their belts set up, let's go ahead and turn the factory on. Hopefully, I still haven't hooked up the turbo motor, so hopefully we have enough power. Okay. Coal is flowing in. Yep, there we go. Yep, all these are set to time crystals. Here comes the first set of Trigons and diamonds. It would be helpful for me to hook that up. Alright, we got our first time crystal. and our first Trigons. So I'm going to let this factory run for a little bit and build up the time crystals and the Trigons, and then I'll head back to the hub and turn in some milestones, or at least turn in the belt speed one, because we are needing to get that 1200 belt speed, because this is not sufficient. Alright, see you in a bloop. Alright, here we are back at the Dark Hub. Went ahead and grabbed me a bunch of the Trigons and time crystals. We're going to throw those into storage in a second. But first, let's hit peak efficiency. We're going to go ahead, put those in there. I've already set up my item sorter to take these. So there. Then I also put in a spot for power shards. And this one's still empty. We're going to throw the time crystals in there. You know what? Throw those. Alright. And because those are used in a one part, we'll put it there. I'm thinking, because I'm going to need to export some nuclear pasta, I'm going to set up a third rail station. That's just going to be an export. It's only going to export the nuclear pasta out to my one factory. Alright. Let's go ahead, get those, and as many of those as we can.
Milestone reached. After close scrutiny, 2 problems were identified in Mark V conveyor belts. The first was the belt part, so force fields have been implemented in the Mark VI instead, to maximize transfer speeds. The second problem is inefficient pioneers, but sadly no remedy is available for this severe impediment. Yet.
Alright. And we can go ahead and get quantum encoding ready as well. Should already have those. I've got to wait for it to come back. Let me grab those Trigons, and I'll see you when the pod is back. Alright, we got about a minute left before the pod's back. So if you notice on the right hand side of the screen, I have some goals there. Finish the MAM research, buy everything in the awesome shop, collect every single Mercer Sphere and Sumer Sloop. I am not going to collect every single Power Slug. There's a lot of them. Unless there's an achievement tied to it, not in this playthrough. So what do we have to do in the MAM? We still have the Alien Power Matrix. We have the need to make synthetic power shards, ionized fuel, and the nuclear deterrent, the Nuke Nobelisk. I have everything ready for the Nuke Nobelisk except for those uranium cells or whatever they're called. What are those? Encased uranium cell. I'll have to set up some type of um, you know, nuclear setup to do that. Alright, that is back. Let's get these inputted.
Milestone reached. This is not a competition, but other pioneers, such as 83CKY and U531355, had already completed project assembly by this point. Fixit was obviously wrong about you, but perhaps so was I. Regardless, you have finally unlocked the quantum encoder, which requires vast fluctuating power and excited photonic matter to produce highly complex parts. Do not make the same mistakes managing the resulting dark matter residue as you did other byproducts. Project part number 11, the AI expansion server, is now your highest priority. Galaxy-wide project management is taxing to even the most advanced among us, especially those who have to manage the less advanced. Like kittens and puppies, who are definitely still waiting for you to save them.
Okay, so that is going to need us to have a converter here to make that excited plutonic matter. These two things will be produced at the quantum factory. That's what I'm calling that one. And I'm already producing those. And we'll have to deal with this dark matter residue. Did I pick up the ability to... Yes, we can make dark matter crystals. There is a recipe for making dark matter crystals that is just the dark matter residue rather than needing to use diamonds. So I'm going to see if we can't pick up that recipe in the MAM. Between now and the next episode, I will. I say next episode, next time I stream, or if I turn it into a video. Probably leaning towards doing videos. Just because it's quite a little bit easier. But in between now and then, I will probably run the train out to this area, the rail line. Either I'll take it out and go along here, and then meet up with my oil factory up here, or I might take it up this way and meet up over there anyways. I am considering having a rail line come out and go across over this way and meet up with the rail line over here somewhere. Just so that things don't have to go all the way around the map, because currently my rail line goes down through here. You know, this is where it terminates at this end. And then, you know, there's a little bit that goes along here. I don't think I have a need to bring my rail line down to my rocket fuel factory, I'll just probably run power lines. Actually, I have already run the power lines. I just need to connect it to the power lines with a priority power switch in between. But that is it for today. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me.